Most towns grow haphazardly, sprawling in all directions, bending to rivers, roads, and hills. But not these. These 15 towns were built with precision from the very beginning, molded into perfect circles, stars, grids, and symbols best seen from the sky. Whether built for defense, philosophy, or raw architectural ambition, their designs remain a reminder that some civilizations pursued geometric perfection. And trust us, once you see them, you just can't unsee them. Let's start off with Number 15, Palmanova. Palmanova sits in northeastern Italy, and it is one of the clearest and coolest examples of geometric town design. It was built in 1593 by the Republic of Venice and was shaped as a 9-pointed star fortress, a layout that perfectly combined aesthetics, symmetry, and defense. Venice constructed it near the eastern frontier during rising tensions with the Ottoman Empire, intending it as both a military outpost and a model settlement. Military architects applied then-modern theories of geometry and ballistics to plan the city. Its defensive walls consist of 9 bastions connected by curtain walls, all surrounded by a deep moat. This star-shaped form allowed overlapping fire coverage from every angle, eliminating blind spots seen in medieval fortresses. Streets inside radiate from a hexagonal central piazza with 3 concentric rings divided by straight avenues. Despite the elegant design, the town struggled to attract residents, so Venice offered tax breaks and land grants. Now, Palmanova is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 14, Brøndby Garden City. Just beyond Copenhagen is Brøndby Havby, nicknamed the Garden City for good reason, and let's be honest, the Danish name's not the easiest. It's among Europe's most iconic planned communities, known for its circular layout. Built during the 1960s, the project aimed to offer affordable homes with private gardens, reflecting Denmark's deep-rooted focus on communal living. These ring-shaped plots are arranged like spokes of a wheel, each split into wedge-like sections where families build compact garden cottages. At each circle's center is a grassy communal space that balances privacy and neighborly connection. The idea draws from Denmark's allotment garden tradition, which dates back to the 1800s when industrialization packed workers into dense cities, prompting demand for outdoor space and a breath of green. Each circle includes around 24 to 26 plots, each roughly 400 square meters. The houses are seasonal, mainly for spring through fall. Seen from above, the circles sharply contrast the grid-like suburbs, making it irregular in satellite photography for its bold, geometric uniformity. Number 13, Neuf-Brisach. Neuf-Brisach, in France's Alsace region near the Rhine River, is one of Europe's most flawlessly geometric fortified towns. It was built from 1698 to 1707 under the direction of Sébastien Le Prestre de Vauban, Louis XIV's chief military engineer, and represents the height of star fort design. After France lost nearby territory under the Treaty of Ryswick, Louis ordered a new stronghold to protect the frontier. Vauban designed the town as a perfect octagon, each side around 500 meters, surrounded by complex defensive layers, bastions, ravelins, hornworks, and deep ditches, all interconnected. Every angle was calculated for optimal defense. Inside, the streets follow a square grid, with barracks near the walls and residential buildings at the core. Hydraulic systems managed flooding from the Rhine. Despite its military purpose, Neuf-Brisach functioned as a civilian community with artisans, families, and markets. In 2008, it was listed among Vauban's UNESCO fortifications. From the air, the octagonal layout is just mind-blowing. Number 12, Naarden. Around 30 kilometers east of Amsterdam, Naarden remains one of Europe's most intact, star-shaped towns. Originally medieval, it took on its 6-pointed fortress shape in the 17th century when the Dutch rebuilt it as a military defense point during conflicts with Spain and France. The layout and hydraulic defenses showcase Dutch expertise in wartime engineering. A double ring of canals surrounds the fort, with 6 bastions linked by earthen ramparts. The spaces between are water-filled moats, which were intentionally flooded when under siege. Inside, streets radiate outward from a central square, arranged with geometric precision. The Utrecht and Amsterdam gates align with the town's axis, emphasizing symmetry and fast movement. It was key in protecting Amsterdam and the surrounding provinces, and played roles in the Franco-Dutch War and the Napoleonic era. Even after such conflicts, Naarden stayed largely untouched. From above, the star-shaped bastions, green ramparts, and canals look amazing. Number 11. Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe in southwestern Germany is known for its fan-like radial layout, created in 1715 as a residential city centered around the Margrave's Palace. The city's name means Charles' repose, symbolizing a vision of comfort and calculated order. From the palace tower, 32 avenues radiate outward like sunbeams, dividing the city into evenly spaced segments. The intersecting radial and concentric streets form a unique triangular block pattern that earned Karlsruhe the nickname Fächerstadt, or Fan City. Unlike most cities that evolved over time, Karlsruhe was executed from a single unified vision. This configuration allowed the ruler to visibly dominate the landscape while also promoting navigability. The fan layout influenced later cities, including Washington, D.C., whose designer cited Karlsruhe as inspiration. While the city expanded beyond the original core, its historical geometry remains untouched. From above, it's unmistakable. A perfect fan anchored by the central palace, surrounded by good things. Number 10. Canberra. Canberra, the capital of Australia, was designed from the ground up with symmetry and symbolism in mind. Chosen in the early 20th century as a compromise location between Sydney and Melbourne, the city was conceived to unify the nation. In 1912, American architects Walter Burley Griffin and Marion Mahoney Griffin won the design competition, proposing a layout based on radial axes and topographic harmony. The parliamentary triangle forms the central core, linking Parliament House, City Hill, and Defence Headquarters. The plan incorporates circles, hexagons, and straight lines, all aligned with surrounding natural features like Lake Burley Griffin and Mount Ainslie. This geometric system ensures efficient traffic flow while maintaining scenic views. Roads intersect through large roundabouts rather than dense intersections. The lake serves both aesthetic and functional roles, including flood control. While construction was delayed by wars and economic downturns, the core vision was preserved. Number 9. Auroville. Auroville, near Puducherry in southern India, is one of the most unconventional urban designs ever attempted. Founded in 1968, it was envisioned as a global township dedicated to human unity, based on the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo and designed by French architect Roger Anger. The city's layout resembles a galaxy, radial and concentric zones spiraling from a central core. At the heart is the Matra Mandir, a golden spherical meditation center surrounded by open gardens called the Peace Area. From this center, 4 zones, residential, industrial, cultural, and international, expand outward. Each is carefully structured, homes grouped in clusters, industries in compact grids, and international pavilions arranged symbolically around a park. The outer greenbelt includes forests, organic farms, and windbreaks for resource sustainability. Roads are curved with trees instead of streetlights to preserve tranquility. Auroville today houses around 3,000 residents from over 50 nations. Its aerial view is unmistakable. Rings, spirals, and symmetry etched into land. The vision wasn't just symbolic, it was built into the ground. Number 8. La Plata. La Plata is one of South America's most geometrically precise cities. Established in 1882 after Buenos Aires became federalized, it was purpose-built to serve as the provincial seat. Argentine architect Pedro Benoit designed it using a square grid overlaid with two diagonals intersecting at Plaza Moreno, dividing the city into 4 clean quadrants. Smaller parks were placed every 6 blocks, ensuring easy access to green spaces. The layout, with strict axis alignment, gave key buildings, like government halls and museums, prominent positions. Benoit's design also shortened travel distances and enhanced navigation. Wide streets made it future-ready, while the inclusion of electric lighting shortly after founding made La Plata one of the first globally illuminated cities. Though it's grown since, the original geometric blueprint remains perfectly visible. From the air, the diagonals and grids form a crisp urban web. Functional, elegant, and ahead of its time, La Plata is both a provincial capital and a statement of architectural precision and foresight. Number 7. Valletta. It is one of the most precisely fortified cities of the 16th century. Built after the 1565 Great Siege by the Order of St. John, it followed a detailed plan by Italian military engineer Francesco Laparelli, who was sent by Pope Pius V. Unlike Europe's older, organically grown cities, Valletta was built almost entirely anew. Straight streets formed a tight rectangular grid, enhancing movement and defensive readiness. The fortifications were cutting-edge. Thick bastions, angled curtain walls, and wide ditches surrounded the city, with water acting as a natural barrier on 3 sides. The grid wasn't just practical. It improved ventilation during summer and allowed rapid troop deployment. Valletta's main roads, like Republic Street and Merchant Street, were laid out for commerce, while structures like St. John's Co-Cathedral became spiritual anchors. Despite World War II damage, Valletta's structure remains largely intact. The city's aerial form, sharp, squared, and walled, stands as a pristine example of Renaissance planning fused with military precision. Number 6. Letchworth Garden City. Letchworth Garden City is considered the first practical example of the Garden City movement. Conceived by social reformer Ebenezer Howard in the late 19th century, it aimed to counteract overcrowding and poor conditions in industrial cities. Though less rigid than military layouts, Letchworth followed a clear radial and concentric plan that balanced green space with functional urban areas. The Broadway Gardens, a wide central avenue, leads directly to civic buildings like the Town Hall and Library. Residential neighborhoods spread in semicircles around the core, separated by tree-lined roads and generous parks. Howard's philosophy blended the benefits of rural life with urban opportunity. He included agricultural land and green belts to control expansion. Development began in 1903 under a cooperative model, with land held in trust. Early architecture favored the arts and crafts style, unpretentious, yet crafted with care. From the sky, Letchworth's pattern of radial roads, green buffers, and central alignment remains visible, proving urban design can reflect social ideals without losing structure. Number 5. Brasilia. Brasilia stands as one of the boldest urban designs of the 20th century. Built between 1956 and 1960 under President Juscelino Kubitschek, it was meant to unite the nation by shifting political power inland. Urban planner Lucio Costa and architect Oscar Niemeyer created its now famous airplane-like shape. The fuselage forms the monumental axis, where government buildings like the National Congress, Supreme Court, and Presidential Palace are lined up with architectural symmetry. The curved residential wings were designed as self-contained blocks with parks, schools, and stores, mirroring utopian modernist ideals. Brasilia was divided into distinct zones for administration, housing, and commerce, all connected by broad highways prioritizing vehicle flow. Critics note the car-centric approach limits pedestrian interaction, but the layout remains visually unparalleled. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1987, its aerial view, sweeping wings, and central spines still captivate architects and planners. Now, let's move to number 4. Belo Horizonte. Belo Horizonte, capital of Minas Gerais in southeastern Brazil, stands as one of Latin America's earliest examples of a modern planned city. Conceived in the 1890s to replace Ouro Preto as state capital, it symbolized Brazil's push for modernization during the First Republic. The layout combines a rigid orthogonal grid with diagonal boulevards that cut across the center, producing triangular and irregular blocks, visually distinct when seen from above. The design mirrors elements of Washington, D.C., but is adapted to the area's hilly terrain. City planners applied clear zoning from the start, separating administrative, commercial, and residential functions. The heart of the city was Praça da Liberdade, where government buildings were constructed with a cohesive architectural style. Wide streets improved air circulation and sanitation, while modern sewage systems and green spaces were included throughout. Although later expansion spilled beyond the original design, the downtown geometric core remains intact. It's just one of a kind. Number 3. Jaipur. Founded in 1727 by Maharaja Sawai Jai Singh II, Jaipur was among the first planned cities in India. Built to replace the older hill capital of Amber, its layout followed Vastu Shastra, an ancient Indian architectural doctrine. The city was divided into 9 rectangular sectors, symbolizing the 9 divisions of the Hindu cosmos. Broad avenues intersect at right angles to form a strict grid, with the city palace situated along the central axis. Key landmarks like the Hawa Mahal and Jantar Mantar align perfectly within this grid. Massive fortified walls enclose the city's rectangular footprint, featuring 7 gates for controlled access. Markets and neighborhoods were carefully organized by trade and function, ensuring social and commercial order. In 1876, the entire city was painted terracotta pink to welcome the Prince of Wales, earning it the nickname Pink City. From above, the grid remains sharply visible. Jaipur's blend of symbolic geometry, architectural intent, and civic design made it a UNESCO site in 2019. Number 2. Mandalay. Mandalay, in central Myanmar, is a rare Southeast Asian city built on strict geometric principles that have endured since the 19th century. Established in 1857 by King Mindon, it was the final royal capital of the Burmese monarchy. The city was designed around the Mandalay Palace, a vast square compound nearly 2 kilometers on each side, enclosed by tall walls and a wide moat. The layout reflects Buddhist cosmology and military planning. The palace sits at the exact center, aligned with cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, and surrounded by a grid of streets extending out in all directions. Major roads follow this alignment, reinforcing the city's structure. Religious landmarks like pagodas, monasteries, and the Kuthodao Pagoda, home to the world's largest book, were placed deliberately within the grid. Although the palace suffered major damage during World War II, the city's original grid remains intact. Now, let's end this with Number 1. Chandigarh. Chandigarh stands out as a rare example of a post-independence Indian city built entirely from scratch. Conceived after the 1947 partition, it was chosen to serve as the new capital for Punjab and Haryana. Designed by Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier, its layout followed modernist principles with clear divisions between zones. The city's master plan resembles a human body, the capital complex as the head, commercial districts as the heart, and residential zones as the limbs. Each sector is roughly 800 by 1,200 meters, designed as self-sufficient neighborhoods with parks, schools, and shops, minimizing through traffic and encouraging walkability. The road network is famously structured into 7 Vs, from highways, V1, to pedestrian paths, V7, allowing smooth movement across different zones. Landmark buildings like the High Court and Legislative Assembly were constructed using raw concrete in Le Corbusier's signature style. The Capitol complex is now a UNESCO site. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the next one.